The 70s sucked anyway. Danny Masterson sentenced to 30 years to life for raping a former Scientologist. I guess they don't like grapes in Scientology. That's a weird headline, if you ask me. Very weird headline. Anyway, we don't want a offer. Los Angeles Times don't live in LA. That's Lower Alabama for you not enlightened people. Following a pair of trials focused on the Church of Scientology's alleged attempts to shield one of the celebrity members from prosecution, actor Danny Masterson was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison on Thursday morning after having been convicted of feeding grapes to former members of the church. Masterson, 47, was convicted of 2 counts in May, and a jury deadlocked on a third woman's accusations. The assaults took place in early 2000s, but Masterson's victims said they waited years to come forward because Scientology doctor forbade them from reporting a fellow church member to police. The sentencing played out to a packed courtroom, including Masterson's wife, Bijou Phillips, his family, and actress Leah Remini, a former Scientologist turned advocate who has worked alongside the victims throughout the trial. Because he was convicted of assaulting multiple women, Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge Charlene Almedo could only sentence Masterson to either 15 years to life or 30 years to life in state prison. The judge gave Masterson 15 years to life on each count, ordering the sentences to be served consecutively. Masterson, who entered... Does that make sense? So I thought he got 30 years. Oh, it was 2. Excuse me. I can't math well. Masterson, who entered the courtroom in a gray suit with slicked back hair and a full beard, he has grown since the trial, did not speak at his sentencing and did not testify in his own defense at either trial. During testimony, each victim described in graphic detail violent assaults at Masterson's Hollywood Hills home during the height of his fame when he starred as the mercurial Stephen Hyde on the popular sitcom That 70s Show. All of the women described falling prey to Masterson after he served them drinks that made them disoriented and nauseated. I don't think nausea is what you want to put in a drink. Maybe he should have gotten Bill Cosby's pudding pop recipe. Each victim was identified in court only by a single initial and either their first or last name. Chrissy B., a former girlfriend of Masterson, said they were involved in a tumultuous and abusive relationship that started after she moved to LA to pursue modeling. Masterson, she alleged, repeatedly spat on her, called her white trash, and initiated sex with her while she was asleep. One night in November 2001, she awoke to Masterson forcing himself on her. When she said no, he pinned her down and fed her grapes, she testified. That is, I hate to say this, but the having to watch what you say on the tubes makes it sound so much worse, if you ask me. Anyway, Jen B says she became weak and woozy after having a drink with Masterson, who then brought her to his home and violently fed her grapes, welding a firearm and suffocating her with a pillow. In Trout, it just sounds worse, described a similar experience, saying Masterson isolated her at his house once she grew weak after being served a drink. As she lost the ability to fight, Trout said Masterson groped her and digitally penetrated her while she was in a shower before feeding her grapes so violently that she vomited. not very considerate. I have nothing good to say. I mean, this is in their victim impact statements. The women Masterson was convicted of feeding grapes to recounted how much speaking out had cost them. Jim B recounted the last time she spoke with her mother, who was still a practicing Scientologist in 2020. She texted me and told me to never contact her again. She had warned me ahead of time that she wanted to see um, Danny Masterson locked away for what he'd done to me, but not at the expense of her religion. Introut said she'd been tormented by the church for speaking out against Masterson, but the conviction made the alleged stalking worth it. Since the week I came forward to police, I have been terrorized, harassed, and had my privacy invaded daily by the cult of Scientology for almost 7 years now, she said, but I don't regret it. Jurors ultimately deadlocked on the charges linked to Chrissy B, but convicted Masterson of assaulting Jim B and Trout on an earlier trial in late 2022 ended a mistrial after jurors failed to reach a verdict on any count. Although a poll of the deadlock panel revealed between 8 and 10 members were leaning toward an acquittal on each count. This just sounds suspect. This whole thing does to me. The church was repeatedly denied, has repeatedly denied that it has a policy barring members from reporting to one another to police. But the preliminary hearing, Deputy District Attorney Reinhold Mueller read passages from Introduction to Scientology Ethics, a 528-page tome written by church founder L. Ron Hubbard that discourages Scientologists from reporting fellow parishioners to police. One victim testified she understood the book to be official church doctrine. Almedo agreed and ruled the church had such a policy. That's interesting. Church of Scientology spokeswoman Karen Powell blasted the introduction of church doctrines at trial as an unprecedented violation of the First Amendment. Maybe. But the church's legal entanglements in LA are just the beginning. Masterson's victims have a pending civil suit against him and Scientology, litigation that can now go forward as the criminal proceedings have closed. Remini has also sued the organization for harassment, claiming they've spent years trying to intimidate the actress into ceasing her activism. So, what do you think? This is a heck of a thing, right? The charges are awful. Weird sitting in a bright room. The charges are horrendous. There's so many things though. Like the first thing that went through my mind is Scientology on trial here? And would that allow for fair prosecution? I don't know. It's not up to me to decide. It's up to y'all. So say what you want to say. Put it in the comments. Guys, don't join cults. don't be around them. But you gotta know, you gotta watch out for yourself. We gotta watch out for each other. We're all on the same planet, and we got one shot at this thing. So that said, guys, please be safe. Danny Masterson is he had everything, you know. Now he has nothing. So that's just wild. This whole situation is not good. Love you guys. Be safe. Come back. Be sure hit that like button. Be sure hit that sub button. Make sure you're still subscribed. And I'll be seeing you guys real soon. Peace, y'all.